So, you just got a new guitar. Congratulations, happy MGD. And now you're giving it its first wee playthrough, its maiden voyage, and it just doesn't feel good. It's got scratchy frets. Difficult to fret chords, clearly. Feels like it's fighting you a bit. Maybe you're even thinking about returning it. Well, hold on. Let's not be so hasty. Here's 2 essential must-dos anytime I get a new guitar. Like this £100 Fasley that I just unboxed yesterday. And this is currently not at all fun to play. Or even a used guitar, like this vintage 1989 Yamaha that I just picked up earlier today for super cheap. So this isn't just for brand new guitars, it's just any new guitar for you. Okay, so number 1, especially on new guitars, remove the stock strings immediately. In most cases, the stock strings are utterly shit, subpar, and can totally ruin your first impressions and playing experience of your new guitar. And sometimes they're even good quality strings. I've had new guitars come with no brand strings, Fender, D'Addario, Ernie Ball, Elixir. It doesn't matter the quality of the string, it's more about how long the strings have been on the guitar and how long the guitar's been in a box, in a storeroom, in a warehouse somewhere, sometimes for several months on end. Now, D'Addario have been very generous with us and have sent over some strings and their new guitar maintenance kit. So we might as well check out some of the stuff along the way if it's relevant to what we're doing. Alright, now I actually already use a load of this stuff and I've prepared some evidence so that it doesn't feel like Shellfest 2041. But let's get a wee look and see what we've got. We've even got a non-slip protective body mat according to the cardboard. So we may or may not use that, nice, depending on how it looks on camera. Here it is here, because it's folded and it might be shiny, so, oh, it's small, okay. Right, that makes sense, just for the body. We'll put that to the side, we'll leave it there. Nice, okay. Next up, a neck cradle, this guy. I've actually never really used a neck cradle much before, so let's try it out. How does this work? Is that it? That'll do. And we'll of course use the snips for getting the strings off, and we'll check out some of this other stuff in a minute. Okay, so is this how that works? That's super stable, we'll go ahead with that. Nice! Right, we'll get these strings off. Okay, so like I said, I never use a neck cradle, but I think I might be sold on it. I usually just change strings really awkwardly with the guitar in my lap, sitting on the couch. What do? What's your string change environment? What's your setup? Let us know in the comments. Have you got a workbench or use the kitchen counter? What you got going on? Should also mention that the Unwindy-majig is also a set of string cutters. And I know a lot of people cut them down here. I've never did it like that. I've always unwound them fully, but I actually just found out that my reasons for doing that are pretty much wrong. But old habits die hard, so I'll crack on doing it my normal way. Okay, strings off. And I do cut off these curly ends just so we can get them through the trem block without damaging the finish. Ta-da! Side note, these back covers with the little holes through them should be banned. They allow you to believe that you can actually feed the ball ends through these holes. You always have to take it off. But in doing that, I managed to find this cool little trick in the kit. Look, it's got this little section here that's got magnets for your screws. How cool is that? Unexpected find. And I know a lot of people just leave the back plates off. How about you? Are you a back plate on or off person? I kind of like them on, but I've got wee tricks that are in between. Long story. Right, while we're here, I'm just going to give this neck a wee wipe down with some polish because it feels a bit kind of chalky almost. Now, I'm even tempted to put lemon oil on this, which makes no sense because it's roasted maple, but I may or may not have did that before.
What an idiot.
Right, now the number 2 most essential must do is polish the frets. I've seen a lot of comments on my review videos where someone says, oh, I got that Squire, Fasley, eArt, Jet, Harley Benton, insert brand name of choice, guitar, and it had rough and scratchy frets, so it must be a bad guitar. Nope, that's totally normal. All you need to do is polish your frets. Or don't. Just play the guitar for a few hours, all up and down the neck, and it usually sorts itself out. The frets polish themselves through the string rubbing against them. Strings. But luckily, the maintenance kit comes with D'Addario's fret polishing system. And there's a lot of different ways of doing this. Some people use steel wool, but that usually causes more conflict than the tone would debate. There's the Fretilizer thing, but I've always used this because it's quick and easy, and as I was saying, providing evidence. Here's some of my older packs, and I get through them. You can see all the muck that's come off this from previous guitars. I'm always using this stuff. It's quick and easy, and you don't need like multiple passes. Just the once over does the job. So it's really easy. All you do is you open up the pack, you take out one of these cloths. One is all you need. And if you see on the pack here, these parts come out, and I'll just go with my old one actually. Here's one I made earlier, and you just rip the end off, and then this becomes your fret protector. And what I usually do is fold this a couple of times, and usually 1 to 1.5 sides of this does a whole guitar. Check this out, I'll just do the first fret. You can see how manky they are. There you go, there's one fret, black. Right, I'll quickly go over the rest of these. There we go. That's like a normal amount of gunk to come off of a brand new guitar. And these frets are like super polished and shiny now. Oofed. Right, I'll quickly put the new strings on. You don't need to see that, do you? Nah. Right, so we've got the new strings on. We went with the D'Addario XS coated strings, which are longer lasting, so a worthwhile investment if you don't want to do this so often. We've also got the frets highly polished now, and we don't have that kind of gritty sounding feeling we had before, so huge difference there. So that's 2 of the big factors for me in getting a guitar feeling better. Now the third one is the setup, which is a whole other thing for another video. Obviously you would set it up to your preferences. I'm not an expert on these kind of things, of course, but I can always get my guitar set up how I like it. So I'm going to do that right now, and then we'll have a wee play. Alright? By the way, if you're new to the channel, hello and welcome. Consider hitting the old like button and hypes, and you can maybe even subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed whatever this was. Alright, thank you. Now, this to me is feeling night and day better. It's like a different guitar. It's totally worthwhile doing this in my opinion, and you can pretty much get this experience with any guitar as long as it's in reasonable condition. Now, if you're getting things like weird noises, buzzing, high frets, low frets, that sort of thing, and if you've got a bit in over your head, then check out the YouTube channel Milehouse Studios.
All right,
He's got loads of videos on guitar setup if you want to try the DIY method at various levels of detail, and I can guarantee you'll be thoroughly entertained along the way. Great laugh. Now, if you're not confident enough for the DIY method, then I'd recommend going to your local guitar shop and use their in-house tech if they have one. And maybe even buy your next set of strings while you're in there, because that's the kind of thing that's helping to keep these smaller shops open, and they could all do with a little bit of extra help and support from us. So give that a go if you get stuck. So again, for me, the two essential must-dos: change the strings, polish the frets. Huge difference. But from then you're going to want to set up your guitar, and I'd recommend watching a proper video on that from someone who really knows what they're doing. Alright? So how about you? Have you got any good essential tips? Chuck them in the comments below and share your knowledge and experience. Maybe we can all learn something new. Now, I'm not going to lie, this guitar does need a bit more than just a basic setup. We've got some high frets and some buzzing, and I've got the action set quite high just to remedy that. But we're actually going to send this to Paul at Milehouse Studios.
What an absolute...
And he's going to have a look over it, work his magic, and probably criticise my setup skills. So we might get to see it on one of his Monday videos in the new year. Anywho, huge thanks to Daddario for sending over the gear and sponsoring today's video. Much appreciated. And thanks for watching. Until next time, see you later.